It's This Week in Bourbon, Chicken Jockey. And here's your headlines for April 18th, 2025. Garrard County Distilling has closed only after 1 year in operation. Cream of Kentucky moves to Kentucky Artisan Distillery, and Angel's Envy launches its newest Cellar Collection Series. Before we get started, here's a quick word from our partners. Hey everybody, welcome back. It's This Week in Bourbon. Ryan, have you been going to the movie theaters lately?
I have not, but I have heard of this trend sweeping the nation by storm of Minecraft.
It's the Minecraft
viewers,
movie.
Minecraft movies. Yeah, my brothers, I have younger brothers that are like 22 and 19, 20, something like that. And they were telling me about this. So
Minecraft reaches that young a demographic? Or should I say that old a demographic? I thought it was mostly for kids our age. Which
no, I mean, it's been around for like 10 or 15 years, Minecraft has.
I guess it has been.
Yeah, we're just old.
Yeah.
It hasn't reached our demographic yet.
It hasn't reached ours. Well, it's so crazy that Minecraft is as popular as it is. I mean, can you imagine the reason that we like the video games nowadays is because the graphics are so damn good. This is going back to like pre-Nintendo. This is like Atari graphics, to be honest with you.
Yeah, my son plays the hell of it. It's pretty awesome. Like the worlds and buildings and things, all the things you can build. My wife's like, too many video games. But I'm like, he's building like this. I don't know. I think it teaches him architecture and engineering and like gives him a creative outlet. And so
I totally agree.
And I think Elon Musk said like doctors, there was some research that said doctors who played Minecraft like had like a 10 or 15% more accuracy of doing like open procedures in the OR and stuff. So
what?
Yeah, because like I guess just the hand-eye coordination with the controllers and stuff.
Well, I played a lot of Gran Turismo back in the day, but that doesn't mean I'm fit to start driving F1 cars.
Well, you're not driving an F1 car. You're using precision instruments. Like
okay. At this point, I don't think I'm trusting anything else Elon Musk says. So,
okay, sure.
All right, I'll quit shoehorning more politics.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I tell you what, we've had a lot of stuff happening the past 2 weeks here at the distillery. We have been on an absolute tear with bottling and coming out of different hurdles and finding ways to get stuff done. And this has been an interesting way of flexing our skills of our motto of there's no problems, only solutions.
That's
here.
right. A lot of solutions going on right now. But yeah, it's been an exciting time. Got some new things coming down the pipeline. I'm really excited about, and things keep coming along. So good times here.
Yeah. And so for anybody that's in P Club and you're listening, you're going, when am I getting my March shipment? That is what we're finishing up bottling today. We are working our tails off to make that happen. And then it is going to be on a truck headed to DC next week and ready to start getting stuff put in boxes. So fret not. It will be soon. It might, your March shipment might be the first week of May. I'm just saying and putting that out there.
Time for Derby.
But we wanted to make sure that we were open and honest and telling you exactly what's going on. We had some issues with getting some labels in on time. There was just the delay in bottling and whatnot.
Printers and
we had to get a new printer. That was its own thing. So long story short, those you see like the proof and the ABV on the label and the batch code. Our old printer apparently was not compatible with our new packaging and new labels, which you will get to see that here shortly. I can't wait to release some of those photos. But we had to buy a whole new printer that was going to be compatible with it. And so that was a quick $1,600 purchase that we didn't really anticipate on having to make.
Yeah, I think the famous line is, if you want to make $1 million in bourbon, start with 10. So it's holding true.
It's not short from being false at all.
Yep.
Let's see. We'll throw a couple shout outs out there. Obviously, third annual Bonsai Weekend happening Friday, May 30th through June 1st. We are going to be sponsors of it, but you can go ahead and get tickets now at bonsaiweekend.com. It's happening here in Louisville at the Waterfront Botanical Gardens. Let's see. If you do like the show, we don't really plug it enough. If you like it, leave us a review. Because now Spotify, you can leave reviews. So if you're a big Spotify listener, do that. Help other people find us. Same thing if you're an Apple Podcast listener. We love seeing everything there too. So we appreciate all that. And then if you are looking to figure out if you're not in Patreon, we try to post a lot in Patreon. We also have another Facebook group called Facebook Parlor, or should I say Pursuit Parlor
Yep.
on Facebook. And if you want to go and find out everything that's happening with the brand, that's the best way to make it happen over there. And we've been heavy into a bottling streak recently, and we always need more help. So if you do want to come, we'll come here. We'll feed you sandwiches. We'll feed you a bunch of whiskey.
Maybe Mexican food. That's what today was, deli sandwiches. This is, I think, the second pastrami sandwich I've had in 2 weeks over here. So I know we got to stop bottling, so I quit eating lunch. Because normally I don't eat lunch, but they order lunch for all the bottling crew, and they're like, "You want something?" I'm like, sure.
Yeah, I might as well.
Now my belly's growing.
I know. So we had Mexican yesterday. We had some pastrami and Rubens today. But if you do want to come help us bottle, not only do you get to hang out with Ryan and I, but you also get to leave home with a bottle. So you can do it at brbn.at/bottle. And that's what I was talking to one of our esteemed, I would call him a bottling alumni now there. He's always here all the time, saying that once we start moving on to Whiskey Row, our bottling schedule is going to open up a little bit more. So it won't just be strictly on Tuesdays and Wednesdays anymore. We might be able to do stuff on Fridays and Saturdays. So we'll see what happens.
I won't be here Saturday.
You won't be here. But, once we get to the point where we can hire somebody that can take care of production and stuff like that, that'll widen up for most people to be able to come, and maybe we get in front of it a little bit more than just like a 1 week notice.
That's right.
Well, we can dive into it. Do you have anything coming up in regards of visits, presentations?
Not for a while. I'll be in Kansas City. I think I'm going to St. Louis and Kansas City, but that's not going to be till last week of July and first week of August. So, yeah, if you're in those areas, be on the lookout for announcements.
Okay, there you go. You can get some barbecue with Ryan then.
That's right.
What's you're going to St. Louis or Kansas City?
Yep.
What's Kansas City known for? Barbecue. I mean, because you have like
ribs. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was saying. You have ribs in Memphis.
I think it's the sauce in it.
Brisket in Texas. I don't know what they're known for.
I don't know. I've been to Kansas City, but only once. So, and I can't remember why. I remember I went to a barbecue place and it was really good. But apparently, our buddy Matt Pittman has a buddy, Meat Mitch, who has a really good couple of restaurants of barbecue in the Kansas City area. So definitely be checking out Meat Mitch.
All right. Well, thanks to Gemini here real quick. Kansas City barbecue is known for its distinctive, thick, sweet, and rich tomato-based barbecue sauce.
Yeah, that's right. The sauce. KC Masterpiece.
Is that what it is? Yep. You don't have to go there. You just go to Kroger.
That's right.
Pick your up a bottle. And apparently they're famous for burnt ends.
Ooh, burnt ends. I like burnt ends.
I've only had it like one or two times I've liked them. But I guess I need to give it a shot. I'll come to Kansas City. Show me your best burnt ends, Kansas City.
Prove Kenny wrong.
That's all I got. All right, you ready to dive into this?
Let's go.
We only got a few things to talk about today, and the first one is, I don't know how. Actually, I do know how. Last week's This Week in Bourbon, we talked about a bunch of stuff. We took 2 weeks off, or a week off, which means there's 2 weeks worth of news. This means that we have another week to catch up on. But I did forget one big sort of gleaming thing in there is that we talked about Garrard or Gerard, whatever it is. Gerard County Distilling. They are closed. They faced a $2.2 million lawsuit and other financial difficulties. This is just after being a year open. This is where, what's her name was going to go to be master distiller? Lisa, yes.
She was there, but only for a short amount of time.
Very short amount of time. But we can see what's happening here. So this week, they lost, or should I say, the news article came out April 4th, and the lawsuit was filed in the circuit court there by, it said, Dawson Horkey, which is the contractor that structured the distillery, which is located near Lancaster, Kentucky. However, this week, a court document has now appointed Truist Bank to now take control of all the assets, manage employees and operations, collect income and pay expenses, enter in agreements and legal actions, and now they can sell and lease assets if necessary. So I believe this signals the end for Garrard County Distilling Company.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, they spent a ton of money on it. State-of-the-art facility. I remember when they announced it, we were kind of like, oh, there's a lot of, contract facilities. You hate to like predict the future in this case because there's a lot of people affected by this. And yeah, it's, I hope it's, I hope it's just an isolated incident and that there's not more of these coming down the line. But yeah, it's sad to hear.
It is sad to hear, which is it's unfortunate because they were barely in business a little, like over a year. They had All Nations whiskey is what they were coming out with, and they didn't really make much of a splash, except for I remember talking about it on here. But other than that, you didn't really hear much out of them.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know any specifics or details. I think a lot of their revenue was built on contract distillation, and obviously
that's
dried up, and it's hyper competitive now. So, yeah, it's just a bad timing, and it's sad for that community and everybody involved. But,
yeah.
It's business is business.
I mean, I feel bad because it sucks. And then now Truist Bank, who, if anybody doesn't know, Truist actually lends on a lot of barrels around here, and this sort of, I would say, probably put the tail between their legs in regards of being able to be more open about lending on these types of assets now.
Yep. Yeah, that's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole other episode. Before we dive into the next one, let me just go ahead and give a shout out to Mr. Michael Palladini, because he asked us and he says, y'all should talk about this on the podcast with F1 racing happening on the same weekend in Miami. It's on the weekend of Derby. All the celebrities are going there instead of Derby. And I politely replied back. I was like, not around here. It's like, that's all we care about is Derby. And I haven't really paid attention. But to be fair,
well, Palladini's high roller, with the F1 folks now. So
that and Augusta, and you see him. He's rubbing shoulders with the big wigs over there.
That's right.
But to be fair, I don't like on Derby, the Oaks night and everything like that, and maybe Thursday when they show a bunch of stuff at Brown Stable Barn. I don't see a bunch of A-list celebrities these days.
You see a lot of professional athletes. There's definitely some A-listers like Luke Bryan, and I can't name all. I'm not a huge celebrity follower, but there's definitely a lot of pro athletes that come in for that, like Mahomes and Kelsey and all them were here last year.
Because
Brady and his whole crew used to come all the time. So
we were betting to see if Taylor Swift was going to join.
Yep.
Join her, but she didn't come.
Nope,
didn't make it.
But I don't know. I mean, there's F1's obviously got its own thing and appeal ever since it started airing on Netflix, and it's starting to become more popular. But I don't know. I think there's still something romantic about the Derby and the dressing up and the seersucker, the hats and this and that. It's like,
so to say, you're not wearing your seersucker to F1 and tires,
exactly. So it's, I don't know. I think it's two different crowds, but I could be wrong. I don't think it's going to have an effect on it.
There's multiple F1 races a year. There's only one Derby. So if you've got the budget and you're trying to figure out what to do, take that into account. You can go to Monaco. I think Monaco to go see F1 is way cooler than going to Miami or even Vegas. So take that for whatever it is.
That's right.
If you got the money, go to Monaco.
I would go to Monaco.
I would definitely go to Monaco. All right, let's keep going here. So we did talk about it last week with the flooding and everything like that. It's amazing how a week changes when it comes to flooding. It's just like it's all disappeared, and now it's just trying to figure out how to resume operations once again. But it says here in the press release, or should I say more of a news statement, that the Kentucky River is returning to normal levels, and the Frankfort community is beginning to assess and understand the damage caused by the flood waters across the region, and Buffalo Trace. They have now completely receded, granting access and allowing for cleanup and recovery efforts to happen throughout the entirety of the campus, which includes meaning barrel inspections have to happen that were touched by the flood beginning on April 10th. And that'll be ongoing till they have all property appropriately assessed. I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. Let's see. They had started by having hundreds of professionals removal of floodwater and debris, and damage is, it says more than 75% complete. I think that's an old one. They did say, though, starting Monday, April 14th, which is already this past week, that they have reopened to visitors with a limited retail experience, and this modified visitor offering includes a small pop-up shopping experience inside the Free House building. I think that's where you usually go to check in nowadays.
Get your wristband.
Yep, you get your wristband. There'll be some complimentary tastings that'll happening there and an outdoor canopy. And and that's only for people that previously held reservations. So if you didn't have reservations, I would say don't go and flood them is the wrong word, but do not go there. They're just doing to do this. But I was talking to somebody yesterday. They came here. They had reservations. They got an email from Buffalo Trace on Sunday telling them you can come and visit. We'll have stuff at the gift shop, but we won't be able to do like a full tour or something like that. So.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, they've had floods in the past, but this one's by far the worst. And so hopefully they can get up and running. Hopefully not too many barrels. I mean, because some of those warehouses sit pretty low. I know some of them are elevated, but some sit pretty low, and they have some pretty high-end expressions on those lower tiers. So
I was talking to those guys that came, and they said something along the lines that Buffalo Trace and maybe, I don't know, EPA, FDA, whoever the hell it is, they have to take samples from every barrel that touch floodwater to make sure that the whiskey is not contaminated.
Yeah, I would assume so, because, I mean, that's, floodwater's got sewage, all kinds of nastiness, and it's so... Yeah, you definitely don't want that in your whiskey.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. But if they can keep the whiskey from coming out, that means it should probably be able to be so tight that it would stop the flood water from coming in. Would that make sense?
One would think, but I don't know.
Okay. I mean, the only thing I could think of is if it doesn't have a tight seal around the bung, maybe that's it, because most of it, they're clocked up.
Yeah.
With the bung facing up. And so if there's not a tight seal there, if it was completely underwater, that's the only thing that I could possibly think, because those barrels, they wouldn't float unless there was a lot of headspace in there. I mean, if you'd have to have a little bit of air in there, if they had the headspace, they probably could float, but they could roll and tip and submerge. So who knows?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just thinking of the days when I used to play in the tub, trying to figure out like if I'm gonna
tugboat sink.
my play sharks and figuring out how to submerge them. Like, what do you have to do to make that happen?
Yeah. I don't know, because water's a different weight than alcohol, and obviously whiskey gets out through evaporation. So maybe, I don't know. I don't know.
I'm sure we will get another update.
Somebody will send us an email and be like, you dumbasses, this is what's going to happen.
You could have just asked ChatGPT to fix it for you. So Cream of Kentucky and Kentucky Artisan Distillery, they are proud partners since the brand's launch back in 2018, but now they are continuing to evolve as Cream of Kentucky now looks at Kentucky Artisan Distillery to be the home place for them. This gives visitors and fans another place to buy Cream of Kentucky, as well as merchandise, and perhaps most importantly, a place to sample, along with others that also include Artisan Distillery Home.
Very cool. Jefferson's out. Cream of Kentucky's in.
There you go. We'll just go ahead and slide one off and slide another in there. So the other thing building here is that RD1 Spirits has announced that happening on May 14th, it's around the corner, they're going to be opening their new home and brand destination at RD1 Distillery at The Commons in Lexington, Kentucky. RD1 is upgrading from its former tasting room and gift shop on Manchester Street to a newly constructed 2-story building that is thrice times the size of its former home.
Nice. Yeah. They've been in construction probably just as long as we have, and they're in before us.
They are. I was about to say, in regards to size, we're going to be moving to a place that's about a quarter the size of where we're at here. But can you imagine we're having a second brick and mortar run?
It's not quarter.
Do you think it's a half, because it's about 7,600 square feet.
Yeah, we have 16,000.
We get 16,000 here, so about half, a little bit less.
About 7,500, so give or take there.
Okay, we're going to have a second brick and mortar.
That's crazy. That's why I'm stressed all the
time. You don't look that bad.
No, I'm kidding.
Remember the conversation you had with me yesterday?
I did, yeah. We were peeling off labels because they got printed on wrong. And it's like, Kenny, you have a high pain tolerance. You don't get overwhelmed very much. And he's like, I never worry.
Yeah, I don't really worry. I told you yesterday, the same thing I tell my wife. I go, if I start worrying, then you can really start worrying. Because I'm always like waiting, and it's like, what do we always say? It always works out. And for some reason, it always works out. We always get things figured out. And if it doesn't, it's usually not the end of the world.
Yep.
It's just whiskey. It's just a podcast.
It's just a problem. And there's a solution right behind
you. Yeah. It's just a car. It's just a whatever. It's like, we'll figure it out.
Yep. That's a good way to live.
Yeah. laissez-faire, as my wife likes to say, and that's not that's not what she likes. It's because I'm just too relaxed, too cool. Kenny Cool, never mind.
Cool Kid Coleman.
Yeah, I was going to say Kenny Cool Cucumber Coleman, but that was a mouthful there. Last one here. Grater's ice cream. Are you a big ice cream person?
I am. I do. It makes me terribly ill afterwards, but
are you lactose?
I am. So typically I have to
but you do it anyway.
Sometimes I won't do a full, I'll go with my kids to Grater's and I'll take like a bite. But if I eat like a full cup of ice cream, it's like bad.
Really?
My stomach is just all tore up.
So you don't even like White Russians or...
I mean, I love them. They just don't love me.
Milkshakes?
I used to love them. For some reason, when I turned like 30, milk just started making me like sick.
Wow. Is it just like you're puking sick, or like it's just like you're
I mean, I don't want to get into details.
So if you want to cleanse, you just go ahead and have some dairy. All right.
Yeah, but they have a nice almond like ice cream at Grater's. It's pretty good. It's like an almond chocolate chip one. It's pretty good.
Okay, so is almond milk safe with you then?
Yeah, almond milk is because there's no lactate in it.
Yeah. Okay. See, I don't know. This is just me being laissez-faire. It's like, whatever, just eat it. Quit being a dick. Just eat it, right? Anyway, Grater's Ice Cream, they are now partnering with New Riff Distilling. I was going to say distillery and ing all in one. They've announced their first ever collaboration of Grater's Bourbon Ball Ice Cream. And this is a rich bourbon-infused ice cream, which you probably guessed, with whiskey glazed pecans and dark chocolate chips. And each bite captures the signature flavors from a hand-selected single barrel of New Riff's expertly crafted bourbon. Bourbon Ball will be replacing Grater's brown butter bourbon pecan and is an evolution of that beloved flavor. And Grater's Bourbon Ball ice cream is available for order nationwide with shipping at Graters.com. And it's also available at Grater's Scoop Shop starting on April 14th.
Ship ice cream?
With enough ice, you can ship anything. Right? Yeah, you can put a heart in there and a liver if you want. This new flavor will be in select grocery stores by April. And by the way,
by the time it gets to you, it's a milkshake.
yeah, it's just a little creamy. A lot of this is only pertaining to like our area in Cincinnati because that's where Grater's is at. But go ahead and check it out. And I will give a plug because you can come and visit Grater's here in Louisville. There's one in the St. Matthews area where we're from. But there is also a very good ice cream destination called Louisville Cream that's near... everywhere in New Lou, where people go to Evergreen and get samples and stuff like that, and they always have some sort of bourbon flavored ice cream on the menu, and it's phenomenal.
It is, and they got that awesome banana sundae they like set on fire and stuff. It's pretty good.
Okay,
my daughter gets it.
I'll take your word for it. Nice. That's it for the bourbon news. Stick around. Bourbon release news, as always, after the break. It's bourbon release news time, and we've got just three.
Just three?
Just three. Tell you what, I'd say it's a slow season, but it's the age-old saying around here is, we'll get back to it after Derby.
It's the transition season.
It is. We are entering that time where for the next week and a half, it's going to be very slow around here with Kentucky stuff. So the first one is I actually saw this guy at Costco the other day. Turner Wathen. Remember Turner?
Oh, yeah.
Rolling Fork. They've announced the return of its limited release of small batch bourbon of Bourbon de Luxe. The first launch was back in fall of 2024 with a limited production, and that sold out on sealbox.com in record time. Rolling Fork selected 6 barrels of 8-year-old Kentucky bourbon from 2 different distilleries in Bardstown, Kentucky for the second batch of Bourbon de Luxe. It's bottled at cask strength at 119 proof, and this limited release will be having around 1,100 bottles. It'll be available on Sealbox with a suggested retail price of $65.
Yeah, I really like the first one, and I love the label and the vintage feel. It was cool.
It is. It's, I think after listening, and if you have not, probably one of the better episodes that we've recorded in a while was with Turner Wathen. And just really kind of cool how his family owned this label, owned Old Granddad at one point, and now...
And the Wathens label.
Yeah, and that was more of a family battle, I think, something like that. But now he was actually able to get Bourbon de Luxe name from Jim Beam and relaunch it under his own brand. So
my favorite line in that interview was when he was like, We totally underestimated that people would buy MGP in a million different labels. Yeah. So we decided to start a rum.
Yep.
That was my favorite line.
Yeah. And that's what, I mean, and to be fair, it's like I took some of his rum with me on spring break.
Oh, their rums are fantastic.
Yeah, I know. It's like some of the best rums that are out there. So if you're looking to say, I need to up my rum game, and you might be going, I don't really know about this. Just if you find a bottle from Rolling Fork, I guarantee you you're gonna be like, holy crap, this is really, I didn't know I was a rum person. You got to have something more than bourbon in your repertoire. And so sometimes you're just in the mood for a little rum.
That's right. Summer's coming, rum time. Don't drink tequila, drink rum.
You can do that. I was going to say, or you can get your Pirates of the Caribbean accent going and be like, oh, just drink all the rum.
Is that the accent?
I don't know. I didn't say I was an actor by any means, but damn it, I'm not a doctor either.
You kind of sound like Johnny Depp.
Do I look like him?
He's a little shorter than you.
No, maybe you just put some of that eyeshadow on and all of a sudden. Because I'm not packing bags on Southwest anymore. I'm going to get charged with all this stuff that's underneath my eyes nowadays.
Oh, boy. That's a good one.
All right, so let's keep going here. So 2XO, the founder Dixon Dedman has announced the release of its latest one, which is the Vinyl Blend. This is the 6th entry in 2XO's Icon series, and the Vinyl Blend consists of 2 proprietary mash bills. It's a high rye 35% bourbon mash bill and a moderate rye of 18% bourbon mash bill. Dixon double barrels the high rye bourbon into a new charred number 4 oak barrel for 9 to 12 months. And the double charred number 4 high rye mash bill is then comprised 40% of the vinyl blend, with the remaining 60% split evenly between the original high rye and the moderate rye bourbon. Available now nationwide at reservebar.com. Suggested retail price, $100 per bottle. Does not come with an actual vinyl record.
Scratch.
Scary. Yep.
Very cool. I like what Dixon does. So
he's going to run out of hobbies to call his releases. He had the sneakerhead. He got vinyl.
He's got golf. He runs. He's got plenty of hobbies. He's an interesting cat.
The vacationing blend.
The Q. Oh, he already did the Q blend. Never mind. That's where I ran into him one time. Was Q Island.
So he's gonna run out of things.
I mean, there's so many names you can come up with.
Well, it'd be like the Gillette shave razor.
The Mach 3.
Exactly. Like, what other things do I use in my daily life?
Yep.
Yeah, the Levi Strauss blend. All right. So the last one here is that Angel's Envy are releasing their newest Cellar Collection Series, which is Volume 5 straight rye whiskey finished in French oak extra añejo tequila barrels. So to create Volume 5 straight rye whiskey, it was aged up to 7 years and was finished in these other tequila barrels for up to 12 months. The blend, it was then blended with an older straight rye whiskey that was aged over 11 years. So I guess they tamed down the añejo a little bit. Master distiller Owen Martin traveled to Hacienda Patron, which is the home of Patron Tequila's distillery in Jalisco, Mexico, to select the barrels. It will be available at retailers nationwide and on Reserve Bar for an SRP of $270 per bottle. Additionally, if you are a member of 500 Maine, which is their club, you can enter a lottery launching, we'll say today, for a chance to purchase.
Is that what we got right there? I'm looking at that green box.
You're looking at that pretty box. You should go grab it. It's a nice box.
It is a nice box.
They upped their box game.
You know, I've experimented with some tequila finished stuff, and I actually quite like it. Raw whiskey works really well with it. It's just, for some reason, I've heard others say it's a hard sell, but, you know, I'm really excited to try this one.
Well, what are you waiting for? Go. No, I'm just kidding. We'll find a good time to open it. Expect a whiskey quickie coming soon. Yes, I'm very excited for this. I know we're supposed to, at least my people talking to Owen soon about this release, and I'll be like, cool. I'm glad you selected some good barrels. I can't wait to try it.
Yep.
But to be fair, the packaging looks great.
Stellar.
Yeah, they even have the agave plant on the front of the bottle. It looks really, really well done. So shout out to Angel's Envy. The packaging game knocked this one out. We'll see if the whiskey matches.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Whiskey quickie coming soon.
Coming soon to you. That's it. That's This Week in Bourbon. Nice and quick, dirty and easy.
Back to bottling.
Back to bottling. Let's get down there.
Hopefully don't peel off any labels.
like your fingers hurt? Well, I'm sorry. No, now your back's going to hurt. You pulled landscaping duty.
That's right. Oh, that's great.
All right. With that, cheers, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Toodles.